a lot of other scientists worldwide are, of course, working. Knowledge is coming up. Actually, I feel stressed. Every morning I get to my lab, I put on my computer, I watch the incoming emails, for instance, and I look at some of the literature databases, and there's always a new study being published, always saying this is not safe. So I get stressed because it's hard to keep up, and for instance, the Bioinitiative report being published the last of August last year, it's not even a year ago, it needs to be updated because there's so much more that has been presented. So it's old-fashioned in a sense, and today, maybe if we should update it, we wouldn't say that it should be an exposure reduction of 1,000 or 10,000 times, maybe we would say 100,000 times, because there's so much new data coming. And in essence, what the new data is saying that shorter and shorter times for exposure are needed and lower limits. And the sort of world leaders in that sense, they are today 100,000 times below the public exposure limit. So they are seeing very, very serious effects regarding, for instance, cell division, cell proliferation, cell cycle life, and so on, at exposure levels 100,000 times below what you and I should cope with. And our cells, maybe, they don't cope with it,
But when you say, let's say, 50 million Swedish kronor, that would be actually easy to come up with, or perhaps someone who's watching this will get it.
I understand this is really nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah,
but
I saw, for instance, in today's Swedish newspapers, there was a short article about an English disc jockey who had bought a Ferrari car for 65 million Swedish crowns. So you see, the kind of money we need, it's not even a car. It's really nothing, So.
But I guess actually by doing this interview, I guess the money will come. Because
I don't have any hope, really, to be honest, because we have tried so many times, and what we are doing today, maybe I should mention that, we are doing a lot, but not in this field. We are studying other issues, like various skin diseases, skeletal muscle problems, training issues, birth problems in women, and so on. A lot of clinically very important areas, but the area we're talking about, we don't have any money whatsoever. So we don't do very much. We have a support, I would say, from two very important Swedish private foundations. It's one that is called the Cancer and Allergy Foundation, in Swedish Cancer- och Allergifonden, and then the other one is the HELP Foundation, in Swedish Hjälpfonden, and they are doing as much as they can, but since they are small, compared to the Ferrari cars and so on, they cannot do very much, of course. They're doing their very best, and I really want to thank all the people that work in these foundations and also the people giving money to them. But of course you need a governmental fund or a larger private fund to be able to do this. And I remember some years ago we had a meeting in a room like this, with representatives from Swedish industry. And the reason they were there was because either themselves or their wives or husbands or their children, they were electro-hypersensitive. And they wanted to, again, ask questions, have answers. And at that time, I remember, I got the same sort of lesson to perform, the same task to solve. And I came up with a figure of around 3 million Swedish crowns per year. And this is maybe 10, 15 years ago. And already then, the people from the industry said that, no, you cannot do anything serious with that kind of money. Then it's a half a bridge or a third of a bridge, You probably need like 15, 20 million Swedish crowns per year. And then I remember afterwards, I was thinking about this, and I realized that they were, of course, right. They were talking about the complete bridge, not the half bridge, And just for the viewers to know, we never got any money still. But nevertheless, they were into the right sort of direction, and maybe somewhere else there will be the possibility. But I'm not so stressed really, because, as I said, while we are talking, other laboratories in the world are presenting paper after paper after paper, and for authorities, for instance, saying that there is no danger. That is becoming harder and harder to do, because the general public, having access to the internet, they could download all these papers, and many people are very, very intelligent, and they have very nice jobs and very high qualified jobs, and when they sit down and read all these publications, they realize that, hey, wait, the authority says there is no cause for alarm, and at the same time I could see at my workplace in my computer over the internet study after study after study being published. How could you get these two images to fit with each other? It's impossible, of course, And unfortunately, I must say, that I see in many countries that belief in the public authorities is decreasing. People feel that the authorities are not giving them the full picture. And also here in Sweden, and I don't know for other countries like Denmark, but here in Sweden, also some of these authorities, they are very intimately interlinked with the telecom industry and so on. And there has been a lot of discussions and arguments about that, and I think many people have lost confidence, unfortunately, in their own elected public authorities. And that is, of course, a blow to democracy.